I have about 5 questions here today.
Well, I have a quite...
May I use them?
I suppose.
Well, okay.
Be my guest, Bob.
What's that?
Be my guest.
Oh. On Melody's show, you stated that you didn't know how debt would be treated in the event of a dollar devaluation. Let's say if I have a loan for $10,000, there's a 1-for-3 devaluation. Could that possibly mean my debt would stay the same, or in effect, really be $30,000? If that is a possibility, then should people pay off as much debt as possible, regardless whether the interest rate is favorable? And, you know, I think what people should do is buy gold and silver-related assets, because they'll go up. And the worst possible case is they'll stay the same, what everything else is going into the sewer, so to speak. And so I am not for prepaying debt or paying debt in excess of what you have to. That was not true 9 years ago when we started this latest endeavor, and I told people to get rid of their debt. But now the thing has changed. And, of course, those people who are out of debt, they're in excellent shape, and they've been buying coins and shares all those years. And most of them are sitting on profits. And the idea is to protect your wealth. And the profits are okay. There's nothing wrong with that. In addition, if I am short, how would you look in a devaluation? Say I'm short AMZA at 85. Would it then be revalued to around 28? And that's hard to say, but the answer is probably yes. And have quite an effect on the American stock market. I don't think there's ever been a devaluation before. I don't know. I'm guessing on that. Jeff, who wrote this, said, I have a lot of people asking me these questions who are scared that they'd be wiped out overnight. And I think the public might be getting it finally. Okay, here's another one. 3 questions. This is from M, whoever that may be. If the U.S. has a bank holiday, will Canada probably have one also? Not necessarily. No. At least at this time, Canada has far less problems than the U.S. has. If the U.S. is devalued by 3-to-1, or 1 new one for 3 old ones, what do you think Canada's devaluation will be? And I don't think there will be a devaluation. I think it'll be a revaluation. So based on 3-to-1, I would think that the Canadian dollar, and I'm sure the government will intercede, but I think it could easily go to 180. So the Canadian dollar would be almost 2-to-1 in value versus the U.S. dollar. And yes, they have problems. The real estate's going to go down. In the prairies in Alberta, it depends how they do on oil prices. And I would have supposed during a depression, deflationary depression, that oil prices would probably fall off to $20 or $30 a barrel. So I think they'd continue to be affected. Of course, they're getting hurt in Ontario and in Quebec due to the less exports going to the United States, as well as the problem with offshoring and outsourcing, free trade and globalization, which America is grappling with. And so I think Canada will do well, and that's why I recommended Canadian dollar treasuries for those who would like to be in those things or have their money in that liquid state. C, how do you think the bank holiday might tie into the forced vaccination program? I've talked about that on 2 programs previously today, and it may be part and parcel of what they're planning. I think it's a trial run, both on a bank holiday, 3 to 5 days, maybe a flu scare, and a drop in the dollar down to 71.18. I think they can all happen simultaneously, and so that means that we could get that bank holiday, and I would think the price of gold would go up, price of dollar would go down versus other currencies as well.
Plus, I always believe, Bob, that's the way they'll also, if they want to take a lot of currency out of the market and get people all geared up for a cashless society. I don't think it'll happen yet, but you get a little flu scare going, and you get currency circulating and so forth. No one, everyone would want to get rid of their dollars. And it's a great way to close the banks and everything.
Well, if you're not in commerce, anybody who's offshore, who's holding dollars, besides governments and businesses just have to have them, I wouldn't have any. I mean, $500 or something maybe, but that's it. I mean, there's no sense in it. I mean, all spare money, after you've got your food in and your filter and your weapons and so on, all your spare money should be in gold and silver every week and every month. And that's what I do, and I think that's the thing to do.
But the flu scare...
Now, pardon me?
But the flu scare and banking certainly does go hand in hand.
Right, and you see what the dollar's doing. I mean, it can get no momentum. It's had a technical breakdown. And, I was right on again. And why, I don't know, but anyway, I am. The D here, this is my last question. What may happen reminds me of an old B-class 1996 science fiction movie called Barbed Wire. Do you remember that one, Melody?
No, I don't. I remember the title, but I don't remember the movie.
Mm-hmm. Well, it wasn't on my venue. I don't watch science fiction barbed wire movies. And he says here, and this is M, the plot was the U.S. is in Civil War chaos, and Canada was regarded as a safe haven. The money people wanted was Canadian dollars. The reason, of course, I watched the movie was because Pamela Anderson, in her heyday, starred in it. I got to see the movie. Why aren't you laughing?
What? I want to know who the opposite was.
Oh, well, I don't know. I met Pamela M. Anderson, and a friend of mine was a producer on that movie at the beach. They filmed it all the time in Malibu where I lived. And what's it?
What, Baywatch?
Something about lifeguards or something.
Baywatch?
Baywatch.
What, David Hasselhoff or something, I don't know.
Yeah, he's a great guy, incidentally. I played softball with him. We had a charity, and he played first base, and he was a real good ball player. I was playing right field. I was too old to play any other position. And the young kids beat the crap out of us. But and Dick Van Dyke played that day, too. And he played well. But I met David many times, and but I really didn't know him. But I used to get on and see my friend Tom, who was the producer, and that's when I would see Pamela and the girls, running around the beach there doing their thing. But, boy, I'll tell you, they worked hard. Anyway, that's just my experience with Pamela Anderson. Okay, what else we got here? More